senior servant or the senior pastor of the Hands of God Recovery Ministry, Pastor K. Walker. And of course, with Pastor K. Walker is this whole idea of the recovery ministry. And I think that Pastor Walker, we've talked about, and we've talked to you on a number of occasions, but we've never had an opportunity to really get into the motives for the establishment of such an organization and some of the things that might be associated with it, and how you're planning on really developing that into an organization that can be of greater service. But before we get into a discussion of this organization this morning, Reverend Walker, let's see if we can have you to talk about, give us some information, and as we know, and as you know, you're no stranger to our audience this morning, but perhaps there might be a few individuals who might not know you. And so let's talk about your background, your education, and some of the things that motivated you in a real sense to think in terms of establishing this recovery ministry.
All right. Well, first of all, Dr. Haynes, let me say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come on the show. And my name is Kelvin Walker. I was born right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Of course, I attended the public schools of Nashville. Went in the Navy, spent time in the Navy, not long in the Navy. Had a kind of turbulent younger life. Did a few studies at Tennessee State University. Didn't get a degree or anything, and also did some courses at Tribeca East Campus prison program. Did that while I was incarcerated in the Tennessee State prison system back during the 70s and early part of the 80s. And that kind of brings me to where I am today. That, you know, my background, Dr. Haney, is actually what creates in me a passion to do what I do. And, you know, just to say, you know, the Hands of God Recovery Ministries, we found was a ministry that was birthed into me back in 1987. Now, what happened was, Dr. Haney, prior to 1987, I was a drug addict. I had spent 17 years of my life in active drug addiction, had spent time incarcerated in the Tennessee State prison system. But on August 24th, 1986, God just divinely intervened in my life. I wasn't anybody special. As a matter of fact, I had been shooting drugs all that day. And he intervened in my life, and not only did he break the bondage of the drug addiction in my life and that negative lifestyle, but at the same time, he called me directly into ministry. And at that point, I went into like seclusion for about 3 months, and all I did was just feast on the Word of God and just get my physical health together and everything. And that's all I did. And then God had put a calling on my life to form a ministry that would impact the whole of society, you know, and that's where the Hands of God Recovery Ministries come from. Now, it didn't start in '87. I got so excited about the idea, the concept, that I ran downtown, got me a state charter, and didn't do anything with it. And when the ministry I actually opened up my first recovery house in November of 2002 and got it chartered in the state of Tennessee in July of 2003. But in the Hands of God Recovery Ministry, basically what we're doing is we offer alcohol, drug-free, safe, clean living environment for people who are homeless, drug addicted, people that are coming out of the prison systems, the jails, people that are just generally economically and socially disadvantaged in society. And what we're trying to do is put together some things, you know, that would actually help people, because we realize that there is a need out here for people to be helped. There's a lot of people in situations, experiencing circumstances in their lives that they need, Dr. Haney, more than just prayer.
You know, that's what I often think. You look, when you see so many people, all of them have so many problems, but what's the cause of some of the things? I mean, is there a mental situation that you can address, or is it all spiritual, or what?
Well, you know, I think there's a little spiritual that goes into that thing, because especially when you start experimenting with drugs and drinking and stuff like that, you actually, to me, you're actually opening a door to allow any kind of negative influences to come into your lives and kind of direct your lives and stuff like that. And I think in terms of drug usage and stuff, I know with myself, it started off, you know, sipping on my daddy's beer. You know, that's mine started off sipping on my daddy's beer. And then, of course, the curiosity and everything about the drugs and stuff. And you know, you start doing it, everybody else is doing it, and then before you know it, it starts doing you. Now it's instead of you being in control of it, now it's in control of you, and it's driving your life now. It's taking you from the driver's seat, and now you're acting in accordance to what it wants you to do. So that's when I say, in terms of it being somewhat of a spiritual affliction, because, you know, you take the person that I mean, you got some well-meaning people I mean, some degreed professionals out here that are addicted and on the streets, you know, because of this. And you know, it's like, okay, I don't want to do this, but I'm doing this. It's kind of like what Paul says in the book of Romans, the 7th chapter, you know, the things I want to do, I don't do, but the things I don't want to do, that's what I do, you know. But then at the same time, Paul said there's got to be a solution. And who can save me from this, you know, this body of sin and death? And he acknowledges Christ as being the one.
Okay, and of course, Reverend Walker, let's stop at this particular point, and we'll have our first commercial break, and after which we'll be back with our audience. We're talking